Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Now it is time to talk about some common errors you can get when you use ChatGPT and how to solve them. So let's talk about troubleshooting. Now it is very normal that, especially if you do more complex prompts or if you use one of the ChatGPT Plus features like image generation or live web browsing, that every now and then you may run into an error. And in this video, I will introduce you to the 5 most common errors that you can get, whether you are a ChatGPT or ChatGPT Plus user. I also encountered them, at least some of them, almost on a daily basis. But it's really not a reason to be, it's a bit annoying, but that's really all it is, because often you can just solve it by trying again. Still, let's look at these 5 errors and how you can solve them. So the first error message that you can get is that your message is too long, right? The message you submitted was too long. It literally tells you what to do. Please reload the conversation and submit something shorter. It says right there, right? So that's pretty clear. Basically, if your input is too long and it exceeds the token limit, then ChatGPT cannot process it. And in that case, you can't just re-enter the prompt. You need to press F5. If you're on the Windows PC, just reload your link, hit the refresh button, try again, and shorten the input. If you have ChatGPT free, then try to have the input shorter than 2,000 words. If it's ChatGPT Plus, you should be able to get away with up to 4,000 words. Error number 2, the network error. I couldn't reproduce this error right now, so I just used a screenshot that I found online. But this can happen. I've had it again and again as well. Sometimes, usually this happens if there is an issue with your internet connection. So I think I've had this error before when I was using VPN, but then maybe my VPN connection wasn't working, or if I was connected to my mobile hotspot on my phone, but then I lost the connection while I was on the way. So just try, actually, if you get this, if you're still connected to the internet, if you have a stable connection, and often you can just press F5, refresh the browser window, and try it again. Also, if you're using VPN, try without the VPN, because sometimes ChatGPT also reports suspicious activity from the browser, which would just happen if you have a IP address because you're using a VPN server that other people are using as well. And that's how you should get around that issue. Error number 3, it's a bit similar to too long of a message, but this happens when the chat conversation itself is too long. So if you talk back and forth in a chat conversation for a long time and you have very long inputs or very long outputs, at some point this can happen. Now, online it says that ChatGPT does not have a certain token limit for how long a conversation can run in general. But still, sometimes I kept this issue. Other people report this issue. And really, the only thing you can do in that case is that you need to start a new chat and try it again there. Now, of course, you will probably want to connect to the context or the content of the conversation that you have. So what you can do is to summarize the content in the first prompt to kind of translate that context into a new conversation, or maybe you just copy one of the important briefings that you had during the conversation that is not too long, right? That way you can transfer the content and context to the new conversation, but are able to talk again with ChatGPT and have a longer, meaningful conversation. Again, especially happen if you use ChatGPT maybe for writing an article or a book draft. Too many requests. This error happens as well. What's the cause? Well, as it says right there, right? If you have ChatGPT free or plus, you have different limits as to the amount of prompts that you can submit in a certain time frame. As of right now, I think ChatGPT it's for 40 messages within 3 hours. If it is text, if it is images, it could be earlier. Or if it's image generation, But basically, yeah, you have to try again later. And just, if you have a free account and you run into this, you might want to consider upgrading so you have the higher limits. Now, there are a number of other error messages, and I can't list all of them here, but the general workaround with troubleshooting is it could just be that the servers of ChatGPT are too busy, which has often been the case. And maybe there is another issue, but the issue could really be on the side of ChatGPT and not have to do with your prompt or your account settings or your account limits. And while we won't always know anyway what the reason is, often all you have to do is to refresh the browser. So or not even that, I would recommend you just retry the prompt in the same conversation 2 or 3 times. If it still doesn't work, try the same prompt in a new conversation. And if it still doesn't work, wait 2 to 3 hours and try the prompt again in a new conversation. However, please copy and paste your prompt if an error occurs and you're going to use it later, because if you come back and reload ChatGPT, your prompt will probably be gone. That is one more important hint. All right. Now, there may be other errors that you get. And again, I still think this recipe should help you to solve it most of the time. But please keep it in mind, I'm not able to cover all error messages here because they might change as ChatGPT's capabilities arise. All right, I hope this helps you. Good luck.